Hi guys, it's Thomas here, and today I'm going to talk you about the various choices you can do when talking about the new ex-raizeol deck that we will get in Crossover Breakers, and the exes that you may choose to play. For example, we have three exes here that we don't plan to summon in Meteorologic Aggregator as a rank 9, Totally Awesome as a rank 2, and Herald the Patriarch as a rank 4. They are relevant for ex-raizeol, that says that we can special summon it from hand by sending an Xyz monster from extra deck to the graveyard. By sending Meteorologic Aggregator, we can target a face-up card on the field and negate its effect until the end of the turn. So a little tool to go second, activate effect in hand, send, negate something. Todd, when it's sent from the extra deck to the graveyard, or really when it goes to the graveyard, can target a water monster and put it back into the hand. Now, in a pure version, we can just ex-raizeol, send Todd target itself, put itself back, so that we're able, for example, to do the same next turn, or we're able to banish it for a prosperity. But it becomes even crazier if you are playing the shark monster, as Surfacing Big Jaws and Backrow Shark are one card combo if you play Strike Shark, and you can also use Todd to add back Drake if you summon it off Buzzsaw and have an extra extender. Regarding number 18 Heraldry Patriarch, you can once again send it of X, and when is sent, you get to send from deck to graveyard 2 Heraldic Beast monster. Leo, when sent, gives you the add of another Heraldic Beast, and Aberconway, if you have 2 copies of itself in the graveyard, you can banish 1 to add back from graveyard a Heraldic Beast. Now, they might be your normal, for example, if you start with the ex-raizeol and your opponent negates the effect on board to add, or they can be discarded to special summon an ice as an extra extender, or then again discarded for node to summon from graveyard. The next monsters are number 104, 102, 103, and 101. Why it's relevant? It's relevant because they are numbered between 101 and 107. So you can reveal them for 7th Tachyon, and Masquerade and Seraph, you just have to play one of them, because they add ex-raizeol and Ice, that are the 2 best starter of the deck. And Ragna Zero works in the deck because one of the Xyz gets a boost to your monster and debuffs the opponent monster, so their stats are going to be different, and you might be able to get a pop and a draw, but it's also a water if you play the sharks to bridge into them. Silent Honorarch is also something you can reveal, but it's also a completely reasonable removal option in the extra deck. There's also down there a 106, but it's a rock and earth, so it doesn't matter for 7th Tachyon. Still, you might play it because it's a monster negation. We have then some other removal. Trap Tricks Rafflesia, since the ex-raizeol trap is a whole trap, and you can send it with Rafflesia and get all the effects. And that way, if maybe your Xyz that adds get negated, or you want to add something else, you still get access to it. Now, while we're talking about Rafflesia, we could also play one copy of Gravedigger's Trap Hole to use her to play around handtraps. We have Exciton Knight, that by banishing the trap, we might be able to summon it during our opponent's battle phase for a surprise, and it's a quick effect in their battle, so do with that what you want. We have a Castel as removal and a Diamond Direwolf, a Steel Swarm Roach for specific matchup when our opponents summon level 5 or higher monsters, and ex-raizeol Detonator, that is one of their new exes that asks ex-raizeol monsters, and when their opponent activates a card, we can detach a material and pop a card on the field, not once per turn. If he has like 5 materials, since you can attach more material with spell and trap, he can pop 5 cards. Also, he has a touch on summon, and he can attach anything. So, for example, a Toad that added back a shark can be attached, and when you use the effect, you can detach it and put itself in the extra deck, add a shark back, or get an extender if you add the Drake. He has also a third effect, that is a protection effect, that says if an Xyz monster you control will be destroyed by battle or card effect, you can attach one material from this card instead. Here we have also a Time Thief Redoer that gets material from the top of the opponent's deck, and you could attach some spell or trap with plugin, for example, or thruster, but it's easier to do it with Detonator, maybe, if something does get an effect when destroyed, since it put on top of the deck, it might be useful. We have the other ex-raizeol exes. This is generic, the reason why we can play the Shark engine, the Heraldic engine, and some extenders. And it says that their effect relevant for Ragna Zero. For each material attached to this card, monster you control gains 100 attack, and monster your opponent control loses 100 attack. If this card is special summon, you can attach a ex-raizeol monster from the graveyard to this card, unfortunately it's more restrictive. And during the main phase, you can attach 2 material from monsters you control, and add 2 ex-raizeol cards with different name from deck to hand. It's relevant that it can detach from anything, because if you decided to summon a Flame Banshee first, since you can add ex-raizeol in the best extender and starter of the deck, you can keep a material under him if you want to make a Ragna Zero, and detach the other from Flame Banshee. We have a Tornado Dragon that can detach to destroy set backrow, even if the opponent doesn't activate effects. A Giant End that can negate a monster, and a Paladynamo for going second. It requires light monsters. ex-raizeol and X are light monsters. Also, if you have some light extender, you can detach 2 material to target a monster the opponent controls, negate the effect. It's permanent, by the way, and it changes the attack to 0. Also, if it gets destroyed maybe before being able to do it, you can still draw a card and maybe draw an extender or something that can still help you push. We have Ptolomeo, that it's way too cute, in my opinion, for what you get from a rank 5, unless you're going to summon Constellar Diamond on top, because you care about the Floodgate effect, or you're against a dark deck. Primathmech Laplacian is really cool. You can summon it during the opponent turn with the graveyard effect of Thruster, and you can discard a card from the opponent hand, send a spell trap, and send a monster. But it does require 3 material, so it's a bit harder. We have the Gusto Emerald to recycle and draw cards. A Cairn Gorgon that you could conceivably use to protect your Duo Drive from something like Impermanence or Veiler, but it's really bad against Moonlit and Ash, so it's like a 50-50. And we have our probably win condition in Baguska, even if it contradicts Detonator a lot, because it will be switched to defense and you won't be able to use its effect to pop. but just summon it with a trap when your detonator has 1 or 0 material, for example. And it's really cool that you can get under your Baguska. You can move it to attack, play, summon a node, send it to the graveyard, add a plugin, and during the opponent's turn you can plug in Baguska in defense, attach a material, and your opponent is going to be under Baguska, even if you haven't been able to close the game. Another win button in Abyss Dweller against graveyard decks. If you make it with sharks is also pretty big. And the same thing, even if your opponent gets rid of it, you can bring it back and put your opponent into hell again. Or you could just play a number 39 Utopia double with a Utopia to have an easier game shot. And now, if you are in time of need, you got it, time. The deck has also a very useful win condition by burning in Gagaga Cowboy.